Good afternoon. My name is Conti Moore Smith, and I am a family law practitioner in the Central Florida area. And I am excited to have Christie Mitchell joining us today to explain why she is running for judge. I have worked with Christie on the Family Law Committee, and I can attest to how hard of a worker she is. So I'm really excited that she decided to run for judge. So, Christy, thank you for joining us.
Hi, Con,
Um,
for having me.
Absolutely. Tell us your story, who you are, and what has shaped you, and what has shaped you into the person that you are today.
So, I'm one of the few people born in Orlando, Florida. Um, Much of my minority, I was raised by a single mom raising three kids. And so, as you can imagine, that was a struggle. Back then, my mom did not have a college degree until I was 12. So, we had pretty humble beginnings. But what I learned as a result of that is that hard work and perseverance pay off, and that you should never judge anybody based on how they look or presume to know their story, because everybody's different and everybody has different life experiences. And so, coming from a working class family, I started working at 16 at Universal Studios. I earned a scholarship to go to undergrad at the Florida State University. And then I graduated from University of Florida Levin College of Law in 2009. I moved back to Orlando once I graduated from law school and started working at a local law firm here. We practice threshold law, which is anything that walks through the threshold of the door. And 2009 was the Great Recession, right? So we had a lot of mortgage foreclosure defense, debt defense, business disputes, the whole gamut of civil, bankruptcy. I was doing appellate law as a first year attorney. And
Oh,
so
wow.
eventually I went and started my own firm and focused on civil litigation and family law litigation. And I actually earned board certification in family and marital law in 2021. And so that brings me here to the candidacy where I am seeking to serve the Ninth Judicial Circuit as a circuit judge, and that spans Orange and Osceola County.
Okay. So you mentioned that you're board certified in family law. Can you explain to the viewers how hard it is to become a board certified attorney in Florida?
Yes. So board certification is actually the highest level of expertise that the Florida Bar recognizes for a particular practice area. And so, by way of example, there are about 100,000 attorneys licensed to practice law in Florida, and there are 278, roughly, attorneys who are board certified in marital and family law. I'm one of them. And so, in order to qualify to be board certified, you have to have at least 5 years of practice as an attorney.
Mhm.
You have to have the requisite number of trials or evidentiary hearings, and you have to have the requisite number of cases that you've been involved in that practice area over the last 5 years. And if you meet those qualifications, then you can apply for permission to sit for another bar exam, essentially. Part of that application process requires sitting judges who you've tried cases in front of, and opposing counsel who you've tried cases with, to comment on your professionalism and qualifications and your ability to practice law. And so if you get through all of those requirements, then you have the privilege of sitting for the exam itself. And the exam tests you on not only the substance of the particular area that you're trying to attain, but the rules of evidence, because that applies to family law attorneys who have no evidence, the rules of procedure, and then the substantive knowledge. And if you pass that, then you are board certified in marital and family law.
Awesome.
There's
It's not.
less
It's
than
not.
1% of attorneys
Yes.
who are certified in marital and family law.
Yeah. It's not easy. So, talk to us about how you have been involved in the Central Florida community.
So being born and raised here, I have been involved in the Central Florida community all of my life. As a child, my family raised me to give back to the community. We rely on the community, we support each other, and we lift each other up, right? And so it's important to me to be involved in local events and local organizations. So most recently, I probably am involved in the Orange County Bar Association. I'm the current chair of the Family Law Committee of the Orange County Bar Association. I also serve on the bench bar committee with the Orange County Bar Association, and we try to bridge the gap between the attorneys and the judges and get them to mix and mingle and get the attorneys to know what the judges want and vice versa. And then beyond the local community, I actually serve on multiple committees statewide for the Florida Family Law section of the Florida Bar. One of my favorite committees that I sit on is the appellate committee. And what we do is we write amicus briefs on behalf of important issues. It's not behalf of a party, it's as a friend of the court, where we offer our expertise and insight and experience and volunteer our time to draft very long briefs to be submitted in an appellate proceeding to try to ensure that the court has enough information to come to what we believe is the correct decision. And so I'm very involved in the local community because I believe service is important.
And you have a family. How do you have time?
I do have a family. I'm married with 4 kids and community, right? You're a working mom. Working moms rely on our community. I have a very supportive husband, and my family luckily lives nearby, so I manage.
All right. So, Christie, why are you running for the seat?
So this is a circuit court seat, and it spans Orange and Osceola County. And after 16 years as a trial attorney, I've come to realize that the impact that judicial decisions have on the day-to-day lives of families in our community, small businesses in our community, children, we just have such an impact, the judges' decisions. And so I really think that it's important for everyone to be in front of a judge that is knowledgeable, who knows the substantive area of law and the rules of procedure and everything that goes along with ensuring a fair process. And in front of a judge who's going to be fair and impartial to anyone who comes before the court. You know, no matter where you come from, no matter your socioeconomic class, you're going to be treated with the same dignity and the same respect. And then I think it's most important for the judges to follow the rule of law and apply the facts to the law as written to come to the correct decision. And so I just think that it's really important, and I think that I'm well qualified for the position.
And what sets you apart from other candidates?
I think I have a lot of qualifications that set me apart. Look at my experience. I've been a trial attorney for 16 years. I have tried all types of civil cases and family law cases, hotly contested cases. I have the knowledge to serve as a judge, but I also have the character. You know, it takes careful listening, paying attention to what people are saying, applying the law fairly to everyone who walks through the court. And so a lot of times when people are in court, what they want more than anything is to be heard, right?
Absolutely.
They feel like they haven't had their story heard. And oftentimes, especially if you can relate to the people in court, because remember, not everyone that comes to court is represented by counsel. We have a lot and more people not being able to afford representation by an attorney when they come before the court. And so they want to feel heard and they want to be treated with respect. And so even if you can't rule in their favor because the law doesn't allow you to, they still feel validated. And so I think both my experience in the law and my experience in life set me apart from other candidates.
Okay. And what do you want voters to know about why you should earn their vote?
I think that the judicial system is one of the foundations of our society. And it is so important that the judges who sit on the bench have the integrity to follow the law. Not only the law as written, but the procedures involved in the law, right? So everybody who comes into court, if I'm elected, will have a fair and impartial tribunal. You will have a blank slate. I know everybody has bad days. Maybe you're in court because you had a bad day. Maybe you're in court because you have a family law dispute. You could be in court for any reason, but I'm not going to presume anything about you until I've fully heard both sides of the story based on the rules of evidence and the law. And I think that if you want to ensure that your constitutional rights are upheld, that you should vote for me.
Okay. And is there anything else that you want to share with the viewers?
Yes. This is actually something that's really near and dear to me. Democracy does not sustain itself. Everybody has to vote. Democracy is sustained vote by vote, ruling by ruling, and generation by generation, right? You have to be involved in the process. The judicial candidates are elected to office at the circuit court level. And so you have the ability to determine what type of justice you want for your community. And so I think it's really important for everybody to get out and vote. And I would ask for your vote on or before August 18th, 2026.
Okay. Thank you, Christie. We appreciate taking the time for joining us, and we wish you the best with your campaign. Thank
Thanks
you.
for having me.
Christie Mitchell.
Thanks.